You're checking out the Booger Eating Moron channel, the online presence of TomAroundTheWorld.com on YouTube. We are sitting here today with Matt Fox and Shai Hulud. Thanks very much, Matt, for being with us today.
Thank you, Booger Eating Moron.
Now, for those who don't know, how did you guys come up with the band name Shai Hulud? Let's look at that.
Long story short, when the band started, we knew we wanted to be somewhat different. And we didn't want to have the same kind of hardcore name that all of the bands around at the time were using.
Oh, like a sentence?
No, actually, this was before the sentence. Around that time, it was like we used to joke around and say like X Tackle Box X, or just something that was short, pithy, and sounded hard.
Right.
And that's just it was never us. We knew that we wanted some depth, and we knew that we were going to sound maybe a little different, just based on our influences. So, all that said, we had no songs written yet, so we had nothing. We had no depth. We just knew what we wanted to be. So we looked to literature. We thought that would be the coolest thing. Let's find something that already has some semblance of meaning. And the band started shortly after I was out of high school. The last book that I read that had made an impact was Dune. And we went to Dune, so back and forth, and eventually we decided on Shai Hulud.
I'm a huge fan of the whole series of books. I love the movies. Dune's awesome. Frank Herbert, great writer, great name.
I've only read the first book.
When it gets up to God Emperor of Dune, man,
that's what everybody tells me. I know.
Crazy shit. Good stuff.
I don't know how I can be in a band called Shai Hulud, but only read the first book.
Now, you guys have been on the road with This Is the Apocalypse since January. How's the tour been going?
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. People, we tend to get some criticism because we never usually tour with bands that are cut from the same cloth. Even though all the bands on this tour, we're all in the hardcore metal scene, but we stem more from straight hardcore, and they come more from hardcore and metalcore, 20 years after the music that inspired me.
Right.
Even that said, we made some great friends with the guys in the bands, and all of the bands have a lot of merit, even if it's not the stuff that I would go home, I'm looking at a picture on this thing of me wearing Sheer Terror shirt. I go home, I put on Sheer Terror, I put on Megadeth.
Right.
What I listen to is what I listen to. These bands, even if I wouldn't go back to my house and rock their stuff, I am so blown away by all the bands that we played with, the level of enthusiasm and the warmth of the bands and the talent. They're great bands, and the tour has been so exceptionally kind to us. And I think likewise, we brought the people that like us to the tour. And I think the whole tour was fantastic for everybody because so many different factions of people that like underground music were there to check everybody out. So I know that we benefited, and I feel confident that we also helped benefit the others on the tour. So the tour has been one of my favorites I've ever done.
Now you got 2 nights left on this tour. You ready to go home and take a break, or?
Yeah, always. I mean, that said, I could continue to go too.
Right.
My favorite thing in life to do is nothing. I love doing nothing more than anything in the world.
Well, that answered my next question. What do you do in your downtime?
Nothing. No, that's not necessarily true. But I mean, I could easily. We'll just tie the 2 questions together. I mean, I could tour. Let's put it this way. I don't think we've had a day off in a little while. If, maybe a week from now, I had another day off, I could easily continue going for another few months. Touring is hard. There's a lot of bullshit you have to deal with. But at the end of the day, it's really a blast. And I think everybody realizes
So that leads me up to the next thing. You guys are wrapping up now. Are you planning on going back out on the road later this spring or this summer as well?
Yeah, nothing that I could mention because it's all being planned.
Okay.
But absolutely, we want to be. I guess I don't know much about the record industry, but as I understand it, we are still in an album cycle, whatever that means.
Yeah.
So that said,
That's where they milk every single bit of coin out of you that they can for every release. So the record company makes their money while you work your ass off.
and make nothing.
Yeah, make nothing.
So as the cycle is still cycling. Yes, we plan on touring. Like I said, nothing that I can mention. But hey, going back to what you asked, what do I do at home? Yeah, I guess the answer really is nothing. I like to go. I eat Indian food and pizza a lot.
Big fan of both.
And there you go.
And it shows.
Likewise.
Now, Shai Hulud's songs lyrics tend to focus on a darker side of things. Is that a fair statement, or how would you describe the themes of the music?
I don't think it's an unfair statement, though I don't think it's entirely accurate, my dear book reading moron. I think we tend to focus on some darker sides. Like, I mean, the only thing I can really do is off the top of my head name a couple of songs that are drastic. A song, pretty much the single for the album was called A Human Failing. I mean, that song is purely about people allowing themselves to feel cold and stop caring so they can be darker and angrier and numb to all the sensation in the world, good and or bad. And in the song, at the end of the song, admittedly, whoever it is that is the narrator, the guy who wrote me or whoever's singing it, admits that a human failing, I let my heart die. So that's a pretty dark, powerful thing to say.
Yeah.
The whole song makes a criticism about people and how foolish it is and why would you do this? There's a world out there, you're supposed to keep warm. And at the end it says, I've done it too. To contrast that though, you've got the song on the album, Reach Beyond the Sun. You've got Reach Beyond the Sun, which the chorus states it plainly. Our days are as bleak as we permit. Reach beyond the sun where hopelessness has yet to spread. So, like I said, it's not an unfair statement, but we definitely do not exclusively focus only on dark sides.
Oh, no, nobody's out there saying this is all positive messages. It's deep, dark, hard music, but
you know what's funny?
Message.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I think even if some of the lyrics are dark, I think if anyone, regarding anything, if you're speaking honestly about your darker side, I feel that is positive.
Yes, you're getting it out there, you're relieving yourself of it and opening yourself to taking joy and the light.
And somebody else is relating to it. And I like I said, but I think it's all based on honesty. It can be dark, but if it's honest, it is positive, in my opinion. But then again, I consider myself an optimist. How do you like that? Ask anybody I know, they're going to say that, I'm crazy, but that's how I feel.
Well, you guys have been playing just short of 20 years. You're pretty experienced veterans. What are your thoughts on the current hardcore scene?
The current hardcore scene.
You get asked this every time.
Is there one? No. Just kidding. No. I love it. I also love metal, but if I didn't love hardcore and where we come from as a band as much as I do, I'd have been playing in a metal band for the past 20 years, or at least the past 15. So I think modern hardcore, everything goes in waves and trends. We all know that.
Yeah.
I haven't liked a hardcore trend in a long time. Musically, the last trend that I really liked was in the 90s when it was, where we came from, like Snapcase, Earth Crisis, Dead Guy, Integrity, Coalesce, all of these bands I thought were awesome. That was a musical trend that I really enjoyed. Then from there it went into a bunch of different stuff musically that I couldn't relate to. I think currently the I hate to say trend, but that's how it seems to me. The trend is to be more like New York hardcore.
Right.
I love New York hardcore. So, musically,
everybody wants to be Roger Merritt.
Hey, why, how could you not want to? So, but that said, musically, I think I appreciate some of the bands now more than I have in the past 15, 20 years because everybody's doing a sound that I like. Again, New York hardcore. I love it. My criticism, and I'm kind of speaking because I'm a little bit out of the loop, it seems that going along with the sound, there's an air of fuck you, there's an air of aloofness, there's there's a pervading feeling of I just don't give a shit about anybody. That I don't relate to.
I think you can find that in almost everything going on in life now, not just the hardcore scene. Everything from like social, interaction to the politics. Everybody's like, "Fuck you."
I
And
will.
there's a divide and we fall, right?
Yeah, and I will not argue that. I agree 100%. But I think that hardcore is only special in that it. Hopefully, you still hear me.
Should lean in a little with that more, so we're a little closer.
I think that hardcore is a little, should be, or it was, a little more special, where it was different from the outside world, where if the whole world was dividing, the hardcore scene came together.
Right.
In my opinion, from my vantage point, from where I lived, maybe it wasn't like that anywhere else. But, so going back to the current state, I like the music, but I wish that the ideas of the 80s and 90s hardcore that really inspired me were more prevalent today.
Okay. Now, are you guys going to be working on a follow-up to Reach Beyond the Sun?
Yes, we are doing a 7-inch, which is going to be a lot of fun. We haven't done a 7-inch in a long time. So I don't want to say too much about it because it's all still being worked on, but there will be a follow-up this year
Awesome.
with a 7-inch, with a few awesome covers and 3 new originals by Shiloh.
Great. Now, I know it's really loud and we're wrapping up, so any final words you want to share with the fans? Anything you'd like to say? Shameless plug?
Live long, prosper, and don't be a fucking asshole for crying out loud.
Cool. Thanks you guys for checking this out. We're going to get Matt to sign a couple of copies of these for you guys to win, and stick around after the little note from our sponsor right here. You will see some live footage from Shai Hulud. Peace.
Log on to KingWeasel.com
or find them on Facebook for Facebook only specials.
King Weasel buttons and screen printing.